I attended the Faith, Family, and Future inaugural ball, which was a ball put on by a lot of Christian groups. And it was a wonderful time of exhortation and praise and worship and prayer and just enjoyed myself basking in the presence of the Lord. And folks, let me tell you something. While we were doing that, of course, there were people out in the streets at this so-called Women's March. No, it's not. It was not a Women's March. It was a liberal, leftist Women's March. Now, let's be honest about it, okay? It was not a Women's March. It was a leftist Women's March. I mean, and the crowd was big as Washington marches go, but folks, there's a whole lot more women than the 500,000 who showed up there. Or even if it was 1 million, there's a whole lot more women in America than that. Women are over half the country. That means there's somewhere in the vicinity of about 160 million women in America. So let's not go overboard here in extrapolating from the fact that about 500,000 of them or so showed up in Washington, D.C., that there's really some sort of great movement going on among women. It just ain't so. Most of the women in America stayed home and enjoyed the inauguration, watching it like most people did on television. So let's keep our feet planted firmly on the ground here, because as you know, what in the world? As you know, the mainstream media, they want to try to make it seem like the whole country is in upheaval. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, it's just, we are about to just descend into utter chaos. Well, folks, I think most Americans are quite happy with what has happened. Because remember, 70% of the country believes that we're on the wrong track and that we've been on the wrong track. So you can't tell me that 70% is unhappy that we're now on a new track. That's what they all wanted. So now we're on a new track. And now, of course, we expect the new president to deliver. But here's what I really want to get to today. This is sort of my theme for today. And I'm going to share a little bit of President Trump's speech. But my theme for today, folks, is this. And I don't know whether you are black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Indian, Native American, or some mixture of the same. Our country is really now divided, not as the leftists would have you think, divided gender identity versus those who don't recognize it, and the LGBT movement versus those who don't want same-sex marriage, and the women who want freedom versus those who are engaged in a war on women. And that's not what's going on. Folks, America is in the middle of a pitched spiritual battle. We are in the middle of a pitched spiritual battle. We are in the middle of the equivalent of a spiritual civil war. That's what's happening in America right now. And the people represented by those who went to Washington, D.C. to protest are on the godless side of this war. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So what we've got to do now is put on the whole armor of God to be able to stand against the wiles, the stratagems, the strategies, the tricks of the devil. And having done all to stand. That's really what we're facing, folks.